Hello everyone, welcome to our discussion on positive thinking. We always get to hear that positive thinking is an art of changing our attitude. People say that we need to change the way we think to develop positivity in our life, which is definitely the fact, because a lot of our feelings, a lot of our experiences in life is predominantly based on the way we think. If my thinking is not in line with what is reality, then I end up in having a lot of fantasies, or I end up having a lot of unrealistic expectations in life. And if my thought process are extremely strict and which doesn't give space for imagination, then I stagnate. So what is important for positive thinking is the ability to find a fine balance between having a pragmatic approach, a practical approach to life, as well as having a good space for thinking imaginatively. When you mix your imaginative skills, your creative skills with the logical and pragmatic thinking, it gives a good and fine balance of thinking that is needed to be positive. What happens when you mix these two things is you will be able to see problems from different dimensions. For example, if I am facing similar problem every day, I should be able to check and find out why I am facing a problem on a regular basis. And many a times we end up facing similar problems because we are not finding newer solutions, or we are not thinking out of the box. So to think out of the box, having an imaginative or a creative mind is absolutely needed. Now, we can't involve ourselves in a complete imaginative or a creative mind all the time, because a lot of times the creative mind or creativity requires practical application. So one must also be aware of what are the practical possibilities of an idea. For instance, let us say there is a challenge in the office and you have to solve that problem, or you have to work on it, something that you have never done so far. So what you need to do is to see how do I manage this problem differently. Because if you use same method, if you use same solutions, you may not be able to come out of it, because you have not been able to come out of it all these days. So think of the problem or think of the solution from a different perspective or from a different mindset. Now, while you do that, you also try to see the practical aspect of it and see how applicable or how possible this is. Now, this is an analytical skill. One must be able to analyze their thought process, one must be able to be mindful of their thought process, and therefore introspection becomes very important. So, positive thinking demands an individual to be more mindful of his or her thoughts. They should be aware of their actions, and they should also be in control with their feelings and emotions. So positive thinking or positive attitude does not come by just switching our thoughts from A to B, or switching it from being negative to positive, but it demands an effort from an individual, and the effort lies in how much we can analyze things and how much can we practice or implement it in our daily life. Let us try to see where this analytical skill comes from, right? An individual will be analytical when he or she has a good exposure to various experiences in life, because if one is not having sufficient experience, then they may not be able to explain a lot of things. When you can't explain or understand a lot of things, then obviously your logical thinking takes a toll. So one must be experienced or exposed to a lot of things. The second is, one must be able to evaluate situations or evaluate circumstances. So when you start evaluating is when you understand the pros and cons and the white and black of the situation. So analytical skill is dependent on both your exposure and experience as well as the inner ability to analyze and measure and evaluate things. So let us try to manage our positive thinking by being analytical. Let us try to be more open for newer experiences. Let us try to be open and accepting the newer challenges in life. And when all of these happen, an individual becomes flexible, and flexibility is an important skill or an important attribute that one must have. And through flexibility we can inculcate or we can cultivate positive thinking, and positive thinking results in positive mindset. So it's important for anyone who is taking care of their mental health to practice positive thinking, to cultivate positive thinking, and thereby lead a healthy life. Let us meet again with another video with lot more information on positive thinking. Thank you so much.